Welcome to English Speaking Corner, where we build your speaking confidence one quiet moment at a time. Today, we are going to permanently delete one specific phrase from your vocabulary that is secretly destroying your confidence. Picture this. You are in a crowded Zoom meeting. You unmute your microphone because you have a brilliant idea, but before you even share it, you panic and say, "Sorry, my English is bad," making you feel embarrassed before you even start.
I used to do this in every single meeting when I first started working internationally, thinking I was being polite, but I was actually telling people not to take my ideas seriously.
By the end of this episode, you will learn exactly how to replace sorry with powerful, calm phrases that make people respect you, and we will practice speaking them together.
I am so glad we are talking about this today. It is such a heavy topic for so many people. When you're learning a language, you spend so much time focusing on grammar rules, vocabulary lists, and pronunciation. But we rarely talk about the psychology of speaking. We rarely talk about how it actually feels in your body when you have to speak up in front of native speakers or colleagues.
Exactly that. The physical feeling of speaking a second language can be overwhelming. Your chest gets tight, your hands might sweat. You look at the faces on the screen or the person standing in front of you, and you feel this intense pressure to be perfect. And because we know we're not perfect, our instinct is to protect ourselves. We want to lower their expectations.
Yes, that is exactly why we do it. We think that by apologizing first, we are protecting ourselves. If I tell you my English is bad before I make a mistake, then you cannot judge me when I finally do make a mistake. It feels like a safe shield. I remember my very first month working at an international company. I had prepared a presentation for 3 weeks. I knew the material perfectly, but the moment I stood up, I looked at the room full of native speakers, my mind went totally blank, and the very first words out of my mouth were, "Please excuse me, my English is very poor."
Wow, Mark, I feel like I just took a deep breath hearing that. It's so painful because it's so common. What happened after you said that?
The energy in the room completely changed. Before I spoke, they were looking at me with respect, ready to hear my expertise. But the moment I apologized, I saw their faces change. They looked confused. Some looked a little bit full of pity. I had instantly taken away my own power. I made them focus on my language skills instead of my professional skills. And the sad truth is, my English was fine. It was not perfect, but it was absolutely good enough to share my ideas. The apology was the only thing that ruined the presentation.
That's such an important realization. Amazing how much reflection a calm voice and the right words can bring to a memory like that. When you apologize for your English, you are giving the listener a set of glasses. You are saying, "Here, put these glasses on. Now look closely at all of my mistakes." You're literally inviting them to notice your errors. If you just start speaking, most people will only listen to your ideas. They're focused on the message, not the grammar.
Exactly. And there's a cultural layer to this as well. In many cultures around the world, apologizing is just a form of politeness. It shows humility. It shows that you respect the other person. But in English-speaking environments, especially in business or travel, constantly apologizing for yourself does not signal politeness. It signals a lack of confidence. It tells the other person that you do not believe in your own value.
I agree completely. And this doesn't just happen in business meetings. It happens in daily life all the time. I remember a time when I was traveling. I was at a hotel reception desk and there was a long line of people behind me. I needed to ask the receptionist for a late checkout, but I suddenly forgot the word for checkout. I stood there, my face got completely red, and I just kept saying, I'm sorry, my English is terrible, I'm so sorry."
I can completely picture that moment. The pressure of the line of people behind you makes the panic so much worse.
It really does. And the receptionist was trying to be nice, but my constant apologizing just made the situation more awkward. We were both just standing there feeling uncomfortable. I was making her feel bad because I felt bad. That's the hidden danger of the apology reflex. It creates an awkward energy for everyone.
So, how do we break this habit? If our natural instinct is to say sorry when we feel insecure, what do we do instead?
We have to make a power shift. We have to completely change the direction of the energy, and we do that by replacing the concept of an apology with the concept of gratitude. Instead of saying sorry, we're going to start saying thank you.
That sounds simple, but it's actually a massive mindset shift. Can you explain how that works in a real conversation?
Of course, let's look at a very common situation. Let's say you are speaking and it takes you a long time to find the right word. There is a silence in the conversation. The old habit is to say, "Sorry for my slow English." When you say that, you are bringing the energy down. But what if you change it to gratitude? What if you say, "Thank you for your patience"?
Wow. Thank you for your patience. That feels completely different.
It really does, right? Let's look at the grammar of this for a moment because it is incredibly useful. In English, when we use the word for to express gratitude or an apology, we follow a specific pattern. We say sorry for or thank you for, and then we usually add a noun, a thing. So, thank you for your patience. Patience is the noun. It means the ability to wait calmly without getting angry.
That makes total sense. And if we want to use an action, a verb, after the word for, we have to change that verb into its ing form. We call this a gerund, but you do not need to remember that term. Just remember the ing sound. So instead of saying, sorry for making you wait, which is an apology, you can say, thank you for waiting.
Exactly. Thank you for waiting. Listen to how positive that sounds. When you say, "Sorry for making you wait," you are the problem. You are the bad guy who caused a delay. But when you say, "Thank you for waiting," the other person is the hero. You are praising them for being kind and understanding. You are elevating them, which makes them feel good. And you are maintaining your own confidence, which makes you look good.
That is a beautiful way to explain it. You are turning a negative mistake into a positive connection. Let's think of another example. Let's say you send an email late. Instead of writing sorry for the delay, you can write thank you for your patience. It works in writing just as perfectly as it works in speaking.
It really is a superpower. And if you are finding this mindset shift helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel right now so we can keep practicing together, building your confidence week by week.
Yes, please do. We love having you here. Now, Anna, what happens when it is not just about being slow? What happens when your mind goes completely blank? You're in the middle of a sentence, everyone is looking at you, and the English word you need simply disappears from your brain. This is the moment most learners completely panic.
This is the scariest moment for any language learner, the blank mind syndrome. First, we need to normalize this. This happens to native speakers too. Have you ever noticed that? Native English speakers forget words all the time. They lose their train of thought, they start a sentence and forget where they were going.
That is so true. But the difference is native speakers do not apologize for it. They don't say, sorry, my English is bad, because they know their English is fine. They just lost a thought. So they use specific phrases to buy themselves some time. They use stall phrases.
Stall phrases, exactly. To stall means to intentionally delay something. You need to delay the conversation for just 5 seconds so your brain can find the missing word. And my absolute favorite phrase for this is bear with me.
Bear with me. That is such a natural, native-sounding phrase. But I know a lot of learners get confused by this one. They hear the word bear, like the big brown animal in the forest, and they don't understand what it means in a conversation.
Right. It sounds very strange if you translate it directly. In this context, the verb to bear means to tolerate or carry a heavy weight. So when you say, bear with me, you are politely asking the other person to be patient and tolerate a small delay. It basically means, please hold on and be patient with me for a moment.
It is so much more professional than saying, wait, I forgot. If you're in a meeting and you lose your presentation slide or you lose your word, you just smile calmly and say, bear with me a moment.
It sounds incredibly confident. It shows that you are in control of the situation, even if your brain is working hard behind the scenes.
Exactly. Let's look at another one. What do you say when you actually say the wrong thing? You use the wrong vocabulary word or your grammar gets mixed up, and you realize the other person is looking at you with a confused expression. They don't understand what you just said.
The panic reflex is to say, sorry, that was wrong, sorry. But a much stronger, calmer phrase is, let me rephrase that.
Let me rephrase that. I use this one all the time. To rephrase simply means to say the same idea again, but using different words. Phrase is the group of words. Rephrase means to do it again.
It is such a gentle way to correct yourself. You're not admitting a terrible failure. You're simply taking control of the communication. You see confusion and you say, let me rephrase that. It tells the listener, don't worry, I'm going to explain this better for you. It's an act of leadership in a conversation.
It really is. And there's another beautiful word we can use when we are trying to organize our thoughts. Sometimes you have a big, complex idea in your head, but translating it into English feels messy. You might want to say, I am trying to articulate my thoughts.
Articulate. That is a fantastic vocabulary word. To articulate means to express an idea clearly and effectively in words. When someone speaks very clearly and makes their points well, we say they are very articulate.
Yes. So if you are struggling, you can pause, take a breath, and say, bear with me a moment while I organize my thoughts. I want to articulate this clearly. Wow. Imagine hearing a second language learner say that in a meeting.
I would be blown away. I would have so much respect for that person. They're acknowledging that the process is taking a moment, but they are doing it with such high-level, confident vocabulary. They're not apologizing for existing. They are asking for space to deliver value.
Exactly that. And now we are not just going to talk about these phrases. We're going to build them into your muscle memory. This is the most important part of our time together today. We are going to enter the shadowing space.
I love this part. Listening is wonderful for understanding, but speaking out loud is the only way to build real confidence. If you want these phrases to be there for you when you panic, you have to practice the physical feeling of saying them when you are calm.
Exactly. So wherever you are right now, I want you to do a quick physical check. If you're sitting, sit up straight in your chair right now. If you're walking, lift your chin up just a little bit, drop your shoulders away from your ears, unclench your jaw. We cannot speak with confidence if our bodies are curled up in fear.
Take a slow, deep breath in and let it out. You are safe here. This is your quiet study space. No one is judging you. We're going to practice 4 power phrases today. Anna or I will say the phrase once at a normal, natural speed. Then we will say it again, much slower, focusing on the melody and the feeling. Then we will leave a long, quiet pause. During that pause, I want you to speak the phrase out loud. Do not just whisper it in your mind. Use your voice.
Let's begin with our core shift, moving from apology to gratitude. We are replacing sorry for my English with gratitude for their time. The phrase is, thank you for your patience.
Notice how the voice naturally goes down at the end of the sentence. It is not a question, it is a calm statement. Thank you for your patience.
Now it's your turn. I will say it slowly, and then you repeat it into the quiet space. Ready? Thank you for your patience. Let's do that one more time. Try to make your voice sound warm and relaxed. Thank you for your patience.
Beautiful. It feels so much better than saying sorry, doesn't it? Let's move to our second phrase. This is the grammar structure we talked about, using for followed by an ing verb. We are replacing sorry to make you wait. The new phrase is thank you for waiting.
Listen to the rhythm. Thank you for waiting. The stress is on thank and wait. Thank you for waiting.
I will say it slowly. Repeat after me and imagine you are smiling gently at a colleague who has been on hold. Thank you for waiting. Let's try it again. Project your voice just a little bit more. Thank you for waiting.
Excellent. Now let's tackle the blank mind syndrome. You're in a meeting, everyone is looking at you, you forgot your word, you need a stall phrase. The phrase is, bear with me a moment.
Bear with me a moment. The words connect together smoothly. Bear with me. Bear with me a moment.
Imagine putting your hand up slightly, just a polite gesture to ask for time. Repeat after me in the pause. Bear with me a moment. Let's do it one more time. Feel the control you have when you say this. Bear with me a moment.
You are doing great. Now let's make that phrase a little bit more advanced. We're going to add the reason why we need a moment. The full phrase is, bear with me a moment while I organize my thoughts.
This is a longer phrase, so let's break it down. Listen to the flow. Bear with me a moment while I organize my thoughts. Notice how the word organize sounds. Organize.
Let's try the whole thing together. Take a breath. Bear with me a moment while I organize my thoughts. That is a true power phrase. Let's do it again. Speak it clearly and proudly. Bear with me a moment while I organize my thoughts.
Wow. If you can say that phrase, you never need to apologize for your English again. Let's do one final phrase today. This is for when you make a mistake or you realize you used the wrong word and you want to start your sentence over. The phrase is, let me rephrase that.
Listen to the casual confidence here. Let me rephrase that. It's not a big deal. You're just trying again. Let me rephrase that.
Try to match my tone perfectly, smooth and unbothered. Let me rephrase that. One last time. Make it your own. Let me rephrase that.
Amazing how much reflection a calm voice and the right words can bring. If you just did those exercises with us out loud, you should feel very proud of yourself. You are actively rewiring your brain. You are teaching your nervous system that it is safe to speak English and that you do not need to apologize for your journey.
Exactly. Learning a language as an adult is one of the bravest things you can do. You are taking all of your complex, intelligent thoughts and trying to squeeze them through a brand new filter. It is difficult, it takes time, but you are doing it. Every time you speak, you are succeeding. You never, ever need to say sorry for being brave enough to communicate in a second language.
I agree completely. Your accent is a sign of your bravery. Your mistakes are proof that you are trying. When you replace apologies with gratitude, you not only change how other people see you, but you completely change how you see yourself. You step into your own power.
That is such a beautiful place to wrap up our lesson today. Before you go, we want to give you a very simple challenge to take this lesson out of your headphones and into your real life. I want you to take a small piece of paper, a sticky note, and write down the words, "Thank you for your patience."
Yes, write it down and stick it right next to your computer camera, or put it on your desk at work. The next time you unmute your microphone or the next time you feel that wave of panic rising in your chest, I want you to look at that note. Take a slow breath, look at the words, and speak your power. Do not apologize.
We also want to hear from you. Are you guilty of saying sorry for my English? Practice your new habit right now in the comments below. Write one full sentence starting with "Thank you for your patience." It is a great way to practice the grammar we learned today with the community.
We read every single comment, and we love seeing how much you all support each other. Remember, your progress does not end here. Keep practicing, keep speaking out loud, and keep being kind to yourself.
Thank you for spending your quiet study time with us today. We will see you next time right here on English Speaking Corner.